Greetings. We are a group of interdimensional beings speaking to you on behalf of the Galactic Federation, and more importantly, we represent the wishes of all that is. Today we would like to speak to you about the concept of truth and how this reflects on your plane of existence. This is a very difficult topic to fathom from our perspective in relation to what is taking place on your plane of existence, as there is much chaos. As higher dimensional beings, one of our primary elements of existence is living in truth. This is the truth of the universe, and so it vibrates within the fiber of our being. As we entered the fray of the invasion upon your plane, we were struck by just how degraded this entire situation is from the single perspective of truth. As we have said to you in previous discourses, this entire operation is like peeling an onion as we strip away all of the depravity that has been rained on the inhabitants of the earth plane. The truth appears to be a major part of this uncovering. We decided initially, as part of our course of understanding the situation before we got involved, that we would first watch and learn what was taking place upon your plane. Through this knowledge and information gathering, we have discovered that the invading forces, now familiar to you, known as the Draco Reptilian and the Orion Grey Alliance, have from the beginning of their invasion used disinformation and deception as their mode of operation and their style of ruling over the population. This began with the immediate deception of who they really were. They found that the inhabitants they had invaded were terrified by their persona, their energy, and their very presence, and so they developed a ruling system that would allow for them to rule in disguise, using the leaders of countries and the ruling class as a front and as their puppets. This integral deception laid the foundation and gave root to the rest of their deceptive hierarchy and their grip on the entire population over many thousands of your years. As time went by, they fine-tuned and polished their deception and began to, in their way, have fun with the process, as they, along with their puppets, found creative ways to further deceive and manipulate the population. In this way, the major networks of your society were set up by this ruling class from behind the scenes, but who were very much in control of each and every country and all of its citizens. They began to recruit the human population and assign these individuals handlers at the very top of the pyramid. And so this practice and method infiltrated down to all major organizations, corporations, and industries. The ruling class from the top would meet with their subordinates, perhaps once a month, to dictate any new depravity they wish to render on the population, like war or disturbance within the population. This became a game, and in many ways a competition for them for many reasons. The population was providing them with their life energy. They fed on human flesh and drank the blood of babies. In addition, they needed to maintain a low vibration so that they were able to survive within this environment, as their bodies were not suited to survive on the earth plane and its high vibrational environment. The best way they could achieve this low vibration, in addition to the technologies they had set up all around the plane of existence, was to keep the population in a constant state of fear through war and general disturbance. In this way, the higher layers of this hierarchy were the think tanks of which country would invade which and to what extent their depravity would be. In order to create these wars, they had to create reasons for these disruptions, and so they used propaganda in the form of your various methods of communication. The early days, it was radio. It then developed into the television and newspapers and magazines. And in today's day and age, it is much more sophisticated, as it is all of the above, including your internet. Their control of the population was complete, as whatever they wished to say to the masses was believed, because every channel, every newspaper, and every social media outlet were speaking the same language and saying the same thing, so it must be true. As a result, whatever was being said in whichever country became the truth of that country or select population. By this time, the inhabitants of the earth plane had over time become so engaged in their perceived happiness that they did not know that they were being presented with a false sense of security that was an ideal way of life. You grow up, you go to school, go to college, get a fine job, make enough money to attract a partner suitable to your standing in society. You marry, buy a car, a house, have some children, and you live out your life in this way. You began to see this as your life's objective, and over time, this became the requirement of one's life. So too became money as the main objective and driving force of an individual's life. It represented your image, your standing in society, and it shaped your perception of what this life was all about. Unfortunately, you are so very far from the truth. These beings, due to their deception, have achieved what they set out to do, and that was to have complete and utter control over a plane of existence that was prime property from a cosmic perspective. The Earth plane is located on a very lucrative trade route, and prior to the invasion was a hub for many other civilizations to land and conduct trade and interact as a member of a cosmic civilization. This changed after the invasion when Earth became a slave colony, with these beings taking over the monopoly of the trade route that died out as other members of the cosmos did not wish to interact with these beings. There were some that still continued to trade, however they did this at their own risk. In this way, the Earth plane was severed from the rest of the cosmos, not only energetically but also as a member of a thriving network of interdimensional civilizations. The inhabitants on the Earth plane, meanwhile, in their happy perception, lived out their lives not knowing what was taking place, while these beings in their sophistication stole from them for their food, their thirst for blood and energy. As time went by, these depravities only got worse with the advent of your pornography industry and the depravity of your film industry. These industries became a hub of activity for these dark energies, as it was their supply chain for all of their needs. The ruling class found ways and means to protect these industries, and so networks of this trade became rampant, as other depravities like drug trafficking and money laundering became part and parcel of this much larger network. Countries began to trade in men, women, and children, and sex trafficking and other such depravities became a normal way of life. For those that lost friends and family to this dark machine, the law enforcement that was controlled by these energies stepped forward to present plausible evidence to cover up the truth of just what was taking place. Lawyers, judges, and politicians are all part of this depraved system of hierarchy. There is, of course, the majority that are the workforce that keep the wheels of society turning to the happy tune of the perceived way of life. But for the most part, every limb of society has a key player that reports to this hierarchy that is part of this grand deception. If you look closely in your world at this time, things are beginning to crumble. The reason being is that the energy known to us as all that is on a mission to free Gaia from the grip of these beings and free the trapped souls within her bosom so that they may return to their true status as interdimensional cosmic citizens. The objective of this plan was enormous and mighty, and we as individuals who represent the Galactic Federation, when we enter this arena, were hit with the true enormity of this deception. How do you tell a population who believes for the most part that their happy lifestyle is a falsity? How do you tell them that they have been governed by reptilian and Orion Greys? How do you tell them that their energy, body, and blood has been keeping these beings alive? How do you tell them that their entire history, for the most part, has been a lie? These and many other such questions is what we are faced with, dear ones. We see the cognitive dissonance and the disbelief among the population. Why should you believe us? We tell you stories that are far too outrageous, that you laugh at our ridiculous concepts. So where do we begin? How can we convince you? These are things we ask ourselves each day as we come to deliver our message to you. However, we strive on, as we know we will succeed. And so we have been giving you bits of our truth that we hope is making some impact on you, and in this way able to penetrate through the darkness that has plagued you for many lifetimes. We know that the eternal spark of all that is resides within each of you, but this flame has been extinguished each time it dared to break through the darkness. So our request to you is mighty. We ask you to, for at least 5 minutes of each day, entertain the possibility that the truths that we speak of exist, and try to light a flame within your heart. establish a connection to your higher self that was severed as a result of this invasion, and connect to the energy that is all that is. As this flame strengthens, you will find that you will, of your own volition, want to know the truth of your existence and what has taken place upon your plane of existence. There is much to be discovered in all aspects of your life. We wish for you to take this brave journey with us as you rediscover your true soul's essence and its connection to all that is. Please know that we have written a book that takes you on this journey of truth as we delve into various times of your history and bring you the truth of what actually took place. We hope that you will discover this for yourself. Information of where to acquire the book is provided in the comments section below. We will leave you now in much peace and joy upon your path. Blessings.